Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with a daily race C at Auto Policing Group 2. Now this race was streamed live, so if you do want to check it out you can see the live reaction from this stream. But yeah, we're about to meet someone, Mr. KFC, who really doesn't like me. Now for some reason I don't know why, because I love KFC, but unfortunately he really doesn't like us, clearly, as we're about to find out in this race. And it's going to beg a question that I want you to answer me in the comment section. Should PD be dishing out temporary or permanent bans for certain drivers? Now, it's a question that we've had before, but I'm interested to see what you lot think in the comment section. So please, let me know, should they issue temporary bans? My personal opinion is you should get temporary bans, and maybe, you know, if you're a repeat offender, then you should be permanently banned. I mean, it's in the rules of the sport mode when you enter it. I know it's only a game, but it is in there. When you enter a daily race, you have to abide by the rules, and clearly some people are not. But this is the race. We're starting from P1. We've got Fento behind us, also starting on the medium tyres. I'm starting on the medium tyres. This was our first race trying out the Lexus. We actually found out that the Lexus 2016 was a pretty good car here. However, today we have actually found out that the Nissan 08 GTR is unbelievably good around this track. So if you want to try a different car, chat, make sure you try out the 2008 Nissan GTR, not the new one, the old one. The car is insane in the race. I did my fastest time by over 3 seconds with it today, so make sure you give that car a go, because you'll be surprised at the rotation on it through the corners and the absolute insane traction through the slow corners. I was shocked by it, honestly, because the car was just perfectly set up for the way I like a car to handle. So I'm interested to see if any of you lot will give that car a go, and let me know in the comment section, do you like that car as well? But let's get on with this race. If you do enjoy these videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the notifications. Hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. So we're back involved with this. You can see we've managed to increase the gap to Fento behind. So we've got that gap over it, you know, the slipstream range, and he's not really a threat so far. So we're going to skip a little bit further on. We're going to lap 3, and Fento, we knew he had started on the medium. I think P2 might have started on the soft tyres. I'm not 100% sure, but I didn't spot this when we were actually racing. If we go through here, we're going to go down the start straight, and as we go down the start straight, keep your eye on Fento. He actually pits on this lap. Now, I had no idea that he pitted on lap 3 because I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't expect anyone to pit lap 3 because it is very, very risky strategy. However, Fento has gone for a very brave strategy, pitting lap 3. Now, I had no idea he'd done that. When I spotted Fento not in the top 8, I think, I was like, oh, he must have had a crash or spawn or something. No idea that he had actually pitted there. So that is going to make this race very interesting now, because I wasn't aware, so I'm not going to pit early, and that means Fento's going to get a very big undercut on them soft tyres. So at the moment we're just trying to figure out the Lexus. Now this, like I said, it was our first race of it, and it was a solid car as we skip to lap 5, and this is our pit entry. We do it really nice. We're actually aggressive into that pit lane, and we're doing 5 laps on the medium, and we're going to go for the 7 laps on the soft. And as we come out of the pits, we see Fento, I think, just go through there. So that shows you that strategy has worked a treat for Fento. And now this track is insanely difficult to follow on in Group 2, especially when you're on the same tyres but just slightly older. This is going to be very difficult to try and stay with him, and well, we should be able to catch him up pretty quickly, if I'm honest, because we've got 2 lap fresher tyres, and the Lexus was incredibly good on the tyres as well. So it's going to be very interesting when we do catch him up, how we get about getting past him. But we've got an issue here now. We've got a driver who hasn't pitted yet in a P5 there. I'm guessing he's either on mediums or soft tyres, not pitted yet. So we need to try and get past him as quick as possible. He manages to get through that corner quite nice there, so we can't really get close enough to go for a move up here a bit too far back. However, the legend that he is, he actually moves over to the right and stays, then tucks up behind us and follows us through the corner. So he lets us go there. Thank you very much to that driver, much appreciated. We can get on with battling Fento now as we work our way down the straight and into the long right hand corners, trying to get the car as close as we can to the apex, pushing on now, and we're just within, that's very close to picking up the slipstream range to Fento now. So this is going to be quite an interesting battle that we have. Quite an enjoyable race. I really enjoy the daytime streams that we've been doing recently. So if you haven't been checking them out, make sure you jump in some of these daytime streams, because they are so entertaining, really chilled, and I'm absolutely loving doing this extra content on the channel with daytime streams and nighttime streams. It's much more enjoyable. New people in the streams, really nice chat. So thank you everyone who's been coming into these streams, because I've really been enjoying it. So we're working our way down the straight now. We're getting the slipstream from Fento. Can we go for a move in the braking zone into turn 1? We're a little bit too far back. We go for a little dummy. We're not going to go for that move. We brake. We're not going to send it there. And we back out of that one. And yeah, that means another lap that we're going to be stuck behind Fento. So it's going to be, we clearly have more pace, but Fento is on the same strategy as us. So we don't expect him to just move out the way, obviously, with being on the same pit strategy as us. And yeah, we're going to try and find the way past him and see if we can battle, find some clean air somewhere on the track. It's very difficult when you're following a car at this track. Just look how close we are there. And again, the replays on Gran Turismo Sport, unmatched. No game come close to it. Not even any new game that's out as a racing game comes close to the replays of GT Sport. So authentic, the lighting, the colours, they really nailed the colour palette in the replays, I have to say. So into the tricky left-hand corner, we actually nudged Fento there, so I decided to back out a bit, and I went straight over to the left to say, I'm not going to go, I don't want to overtake you after doing that, because one thing I don't like to do is do a nudge into a corner and try and do an overtake. It's a bit of a pet hate of mine. So yeah, we made sure that we didn't go for a move there, because there are a lot of drivers that do that. They nudge you and then they carry on with a move, and it's something that I really don't like. So if I ever hit someone like that, I will back out and make sure that we won't go for a move. And it's something I recommend you all do as well, because when you get hit from behind into a corner and then someone goes past you, it's really frustrating. But we're getting very close and staying close to Fento at the moment. And at the moment, his tyres are getting worse and worse, and the Lexus is better on tyres anyway. So we get a nice, good exit from that corner. We managed to put the power down really early, and we've got a nice slipstream, and the Lexus surprisingly fast in the slipstream. We're going to go to the left-hand side of the track. Can we work our way around the outside of Fento? This is an extremely difficult move on this corner. We brake very late, down to second gear to try and get that rotation, and we just about managed to go around the outside of turn 1. That was a very brave move, and I was quite surprised we actually made that work, especially on someone like Fento, a very fast driver. So up into P2, and now we've got a strange situation, because this guy in P1 started at the back of the grid and he hasn't pitted yet. So he's clearly started on soft tyres, or mediums, or I presume it's soft tyres, and he has not pitted yet, which is really weird. And at the point in the race, I was like, has he pitted early? Did he start like further back or something, or maybe P7 and pitted really early and he's just got a massive undercut? But no, looking how fast we're catching him up, you can see we're gaining a lot of time on every single corner. We're catching. So he's on a very weird strategy. Clearly he hasn't pitted yet, and he's clearly out to affect our race. I think he's obviously a bit of a hater of the channel or something. That's fair enough. Everyone gets it's going to happen. But yeah, what I don't agree with is when you interfere with a race. I think this is what PD need to stamp out of their game for Gran Turismo 7, because it's one thing, especially with a penalty system that's not working, is we need to get rid of these drivers. And I think temporary bans, even if it's only like a temporary 12-hour ban, your first major incident. If they have a reporting system like iRacing, something that you can send footage over to, maybe like a temporary ban if they repeat, maybe a 24-hour ban if they repeat, 48-hour ban, and if they carry on doing it, then maybe a 1-week ban and then permanent if they carry on doing it. Now, there are going to be people that disagree with this, but I think it would make the racing a lot more enjoyable. I think you'd see less incidents, it would be a lot cleaner. And yeah, as we're about to see here now, we got a nice run on him here. You can see he's really struggling for grip. He's got no traction through the corners. He's going to go to the left-hand side to try and stop us getting slipstream. I'm just going to slowly go to the left-hand side. Didn't really know what strategy he was on here, because I knew he hadn't pitted at this point. There was no way. So he goes to the right-hand side of the track. We're going to go down the left, and he just swipes us out of the track. And then he rage quits, or just quits, because he did the strategy to take me out in the race. Now, for me, that type of incident needs some sort of punishment, to be honest, because I know it's only a daily race, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't be doing that in sport mode. And for me, I feel like this is where a temporary, maybe a 6-hour ban or a 12-hour ban could come into existence. You see, that was 100% done on purpose. There's no question about it. He tried to take us out, and then he quit, and he ruined our race. We're down into P3. We've got a bit of dirty tyres now, but we're not going to give up on this. We're going to see if we can get back some positions. It's going to be very difficult, though, because we know with the dirty area, it's very hard to follow someone, but we're not going to give up. We're going to try and battle this out to the very end of the race, and you can actually watch the reaction live on stream. It didn't really bother me, if I'm honest, because I was actually laughing at it, because if anyone looks bad, it's Mr. KFC there. So yeah, we moved on. We didn't even worry about it, and we're going to see if we can catch up to P2 now. We're just trying to we took about half a lap just to get the rhythm going again. This track is very rhythm based, so you have to be very smooth to find the lap time, and that's what we're trying to do now. Just try and get back into the rhythm, especially with the tyres. They were starting to fade now, and we had just got ourselves some clean air after overtaking Fento. So Can we manage to catch up to P2? So we fast forward the action for about a lap here as we're gradually getting, you can see we're actually gaining on adapting P2. You can see the gap coming down and down and down. So his tyres are clearly wearing out, but we are gaining. We're definitely gaining through the corner. You can see in the traction zones, we're massively gaining there. We're down just over a second now, 1.5 seconds behind him. Again, gained another 2 tenths on that corner. And as we come down here now, he's in visual distance. So when you've got a car that close to you, you start getting that little bit of extra motivation to really push and see if we can catch him up. So through here, down to third gear with the Lexus, trying to bite it into that apex, and then aggressive through here. Lexus extremely good on traction zones, I have to say. However, it doesn't compare to the 08 Nissan for me. The 08 Nissan for me, it just rotates into the corners like an NSX, but with the traction of the Lexus, and the tyre wear is amazing on it. So like I say, chat, make sure you go and try that 08 Nissan out. And let me know in the comments, please, because I want to hear what you think of it. I was insanely surprised by how good it was today. But we're managing to get in the slipstream now of P2, so we're going to get a little bit of dirty air. But will my tyres be in better condition, and will we be able to go for a move? So trying to keep it as close to the apex as possible there, on the throttle nice and early, and closing in on P2 as we go into the right hand corner up here. So into the brakes nice and early, trying to be very smooth. When you're in that dirty air, one thing you want to do is just brake a fraction earlier. Try and take tighter lines into the corner, because you're going to get that understeer. So you really want to try and rotate the car differently, trying to follow different lines. You'll see my car on slightly different lines to P2. So as we come through here, you're going to see on the replay camera, you see I'm tighter into the corner. You can see I'm like half a car to the left into that corner, just trying to pick up a slightly cleaner line and just countering that dirty air. Now, I'm not the best at driving in dirty air, but I am trying to learn and pick up some skills with it. So it's quite good practice when this happens, in fairness. And we can see we get a little bit of understeer on the exit there, a little bit of oversteer on the exit as well. Understeer on entry and oversteer on exit. That is what happens in the dirty air. But we're following and we're managing to stay in that slipstream. Can we find the way past? We've got a few corners to go on this lap as we join the action back on board, trying to take a nice smooth line through here. You can see it's all about being very smooth, and that's what we're trying to do at the moment. Try and stay smooth in case we can go for a move on that final drag race to the finishing line. As we come through here, clipping the apex, clip the apex again on the throttle, and through here I decided to go down to second gear to try and bite the car in nice and early on the apex, and it's worked a treat. We've actually given ourselves the ability to get rid of the dirty air for a second there. He makes a mistake, and now it is a drag race to the finish. Can we manage to take P2? And unfortunately, by a whisker, we don't take it. But, you know, a great little battle at the end there. I enjoyed that. So we take a P3. Not much we could do after we got took out in the race. Hopefully, for GT7, there might be a reporting system. Who knows? You never know. It could happen. Hopefully it will, and we can have some temporary bans for these drivers. But do let me know what you think of that idea. Personally, I think it could work, especially if you give people warnings and stuff like that. It could definitely work as a feature for the game to get rid of them people that are ruining races for everyone. But anyway, thanks again for watching the video. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Bye.